move my little bar here. You guys go to the top. Sorry, I'm like struggling. I use Zoom literally so much. Like I spent a whole how many months of my life teaching on Zoom and I struggle to figure it out. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling. Okay, there we go. Okay, inviting made easy. Okay, so I've got this fun little retro theme going on, but some announcements first. Some pretty exciting stuff is that tomorrow is the last day for $20 off. And unless you do your invites like right away in the morning, I'm pretty much counting like today is the last day, because if I send an invite at like 6 o'clock tomorrow night, like the chances of them going through the whole process and like signing up within that time frame is slim. Also, I'm excited the gut health. I shouldn't call it the gut health. I should call it the 4 weeks for everybody. The 4 weeks for everybody sample, because that is the workout, right? There's 4 weeks of gut health, which is like the nutrition side of it. And then there's 4 weeks for everybody. That's the workout, and that sample is coming out. I don't know if you've been creeping on Beachbody and Autumn and all them, but the workouts are low impact, which is nice, because like the number one question I get is like, what low impact workouts can I do? And two, they use like the core ball and some of that stuff from 9-Week Control Freak. So I'm just excited to like utilize that stuff again, because I think it's so fun.
Do you know how those challenge packs will be set up or anything? Like, do you buy the nutrition stuff from the workouts, or is it going to be all together?
I'm guessing it's going to be all together. I will post, let me make a note of that. I will post, Johnny on my corporate mentor posted in our 1-Star Diamonds, pricing breakdown, and it is going to be more expensive for weeks of gut health. There is a supplement that comes with it. Like you have to take the supplement. But I was talking to people at NLC who had people in the test group, and they said like they will never go a day without the supplement again. Like they said. And the coolest part I think that is very interesting about this 4 weeks of gut health and 4 weeks for everybody is that the progress photos weren't only physical transformations. Like Emily Faber's transformation was in her skin. Like it shows pictures of her ears and her like acne and her skin. And like, so I just think it'll be really interesting, because for the first time, it's not just about like, this is the workout transformation or like the weight loss transformation. It's like your skin, your gut, it actually goes through, make sure you go and you do your research, right? So that even if you're not going to purchase a program on early release, you can talk to people about it. It goes through different food groups, and it's really trying to pinpoint what people's food sensitivities are. Like they say, like honestly, like 50% of the population is gluten-free, but they don't eat, like they have celiacs. And so they have a lot of issues with that. Like I'm trying to figure out how to convince Shane to do this program, like the health side of things, because Shane has so many digestive issues that if I could figure out what it was, that would be so nice. But that is where this is going to come in. She says you take away a lot of the like food groups that cause issues most typically in people's diets, and then you slowly introduce them back so that you can pinpoint what are your food sensitivities and like what foods make you feel good, what foods make you not feel good, because they can be different for everyone. But make sure go in the Beachbody Champions page and follow along there with the takeover. Make sure you're following along with the videos. Like even the video I watched, like the 4-minute video I posted in the Purpose Over Perfection page, and that even tells you a lot about like what it's about. I think the workout program itself will go on sale just like everything else, I'm guessing. But I'm not quite sure if they're going to say like, no, this is a combo deal. Your only option is to do them together. But yeah, I'll post that, post the price guide. And the sample workout comes out tomorrow. So as we're talking about invites, starting tomorrow, every single invite I send will be about this new program, and can I send them the sample workout? And I will do that until March 15th when the program comes out. And then from the 15th to whenever, like I'm starting the program the Monday after we get back from Punta Cana. And so then until then, I will be inviting to this opportunity or to gut health. So that's kind of a guiding thing, but I'm going to talk about schedules here in a little bit. Then next announcement is Success Club trip. We leave in 20 days, Angie and I, to go to Punta Cana for the Success Club trip, which is pretty exciting. Just registered for next year, so that is going to be fun. I cannot wait to go somewhere warm, to get away. It's like the break in my spring. Like once I go to Punta Cana, like it's all downhill there for the rest of the school year. One thing, I've talked to some of you about it. Some of you guys know, but I wanted to let you guys know before you see it on social media here in a few weeks, is that Shane and I actually have a really big life move coming up. And we are actually moving to Fargo, North Dakota at the end of the year. So Emily's like, yes, we can see each other in person. I'm gonna be like,
although I might also be moving from Fargo soon. I don't know yet. So
probably for residency things, but so he will move next month, and then I will be moving at the end of the school year because I have to fulfill my contract. So yeah, that is, if you could keep us in your prayers, it's kind of like a very big stressful thing right now, trying to figure out what we're gonna do, where we're gonna live, kind of all that kind of stuff, what I'm gonna do for a job. Well, technically fourth on here is that $99 bike. This is huge, and I'm going to talk about this more too. So it's hard to marry all these things, right? Like, to me, I feel like I tell people so many opportunities that it's like confusing on all the things. So I'm probably going to do like a week about sample workouts to gut health, a week about the bike, then it's going to be gut health. Like, I think I'm going to switch every week so people don't hear me talking about gut health for the next like 15 days, which they say they need to hear it for at least like 7 to 14 days, but also trying to put the bike in there. And then month 3, Success Club rewards. So in March, it's pretty crazy. If you hit, that's already month 3 of the year. When you hit Success Club in March, if you've hit for 3 months in a row, you get the little phone stand. So I just got my email that my crossbody bag shipped. Remember that Success Club, if you hit it each month, you get special rewards. And so those are kind of fun. Super weekend is April 22nd, I believe, through the 24th ish. Like, we'd probably show up on a Friday, have some dinner as people arrive, hang out, do games. And then Saturday would be kind of packed with some stuff. And then on Sunday morning, we would all go home. I have state convention that weekend, so I will have to leave like right away in the morning to go get my kiddos and head to Brookings. Retreat is going to be in late May or early June. I have not decided yet. Again, kind of depends on what's going on in my life. Got to figure that out because I will be moving in late May. And then Summit is in July. In St. Louis, and I'm really excited about that. So soon I need to put a group message together because we got to figure out housing, and pretty soon here, like every Beachbody coach on the planet is going to be trying to book an Airbnb for their team. So we got to kind of figure that out and make sure we got everyone who's going. I will post a video about what Summit is for those of you who are new or thinking about going, but it is literally the thing that was the catalyst to my business. Like, I went to this, I listened to the speakers, I listened to the coaches, and that was the first time I 100% understood the opportunity that Beachbody had for me. And it gave me the tools that I needed to go forward and build the team we have now and do all that. And I 100% believe that since we haven't had Summit since 2019, that it has been harder, because Summit and these live events, honestly, are like the best part of this community. Getting to see everyone is the best part of this community. And so I'm really excited for that. Okay. Then getting to the important part, or what you showed up for, right? Oh, hang on. I was going to show you the March calendar, if I can get around everything to get there. Hang on. Goodbye, people. I'm trying to find, I need to move this bar. How do I? Okay. Can you guys see that? I can't see you, so it doesn't really help. Can you see that? Okay. The March calendar, few super cool things going on is that gut week or gut protocol is going to be $20 off. The new thing is that you can earn badges on Beachbody On Demand. So every time you like do a program, you're going to get like a badge. So they're like gamifying Beachbody On Demand, which I am a psycho about like award and recognition, right? Like you guys know, we've talked about this last week. Like I will do anything for like recognition. And so I know for me, I'm pretty excited about that. $165 summit ticket. So it looks like if you're thinking about, okay, bye. Thinking about summit. Oh, I wonder if it's trying to take me somewhere because I clicked on something. The important part to this that I was going to show you is when it launches. Oh yeah, it's trying to take me there. Okay. So you can get a summit ticket for $165. What? And then 14-day free trial for BOD members for Body, it looks like. And then one thing Angie pointed out to me today, because if you're looking at all this, is that on March 14th, wait, no, that's the final day. So what day does it go on sale? There's a day. It says final day for 50% off Way Shakeology 30 ounce or 30 serving bag. So I don't know when that'll start. But yeah, I don't know. Okay. Not quite sure when that'll start, but it says that it, I was trying to see, but I didn't see it at all. The bike promotion ends on the 24th. They don't have that on here, but the bike promotion ends March 24th. I didn't know if it had any.
Is the 14-day free trial for Body for only people who are already BOD members?
That's what I'm guessing, because it says Body 14-day free trial for BOD members. So I'm guessing if they already have Beachbody On Demand, they will be allowed to do a 14-day free trial. If they don't, they would still have to purchase the 7-day free pass or the $7 pass for the day. Okay. So here is what we came for, right? Inviting made simple. So I think I can confidently say the number one thing we overcomplicate in all this. Oh, I was going to check the chat quick to see. Okay. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Where did we decide to do Super Weekend? Super Weekend is I'm looking at lake houses between it'll be in the Brookings area. So it might be like on Lake Ponset or down in Madison, or like it's going to be within an hour of Brookings. I just have to solidify how many people are going, and then I can book it, but it's hard to know. And I don't want to book a place and then have like only 5 people be like, yeah, I'm coming, and then book a place that's like for 10 people and then etc. Okay. Inviting made simple. So we overcomplicate this so much, and it is the number one most important thing to onboarding new people, but it's the number one thing we skip. So here's a few inviting tips, and I actually don't have a ton of slides with this because I want to talk a little bit more about it and kind of leave it open for questions and stuff at the end. I asked Angie, like, what is your inviting tip? Like, number one, what's your inviting tip? And this is, what we kind of came up with is like, just do it. Like, you will not get anywhere without doing it. And I can confidently say, and some of you, right, like, you're in this for the long haul, right? This is not a get rich quick scheme. It takes time, right? But like, I was consistently inviting for a few months before I really started hitting Success Club constantly. So, and when I say like inviting is, I'm talking like 5 to 10 invites a day. Like, I was sending on average like 50 invites a week. So, some people like, I only send invites on the weekend if I don't have stuff going on and I feel like doing it. But I would average for 50 invites a week, which if you're a newer coach seems super scary, right? But also as a newer coach, you have a huge pool of people who you haven't talked to yet. My second bullet point here is you do not get to decide who needs it and who does not. I know I talked a little bit about this before, but like, even with the bike deal, we like to prejudge people and be like, oh, like, she can't buy a bike because she has this going on, or she doesn't want to do it because she already has really good, she already looks really good, or like, they're not going to want to do this because they're in college and they're on a budget, or right. We come up with all these excuses on why we shouldn't invite someone, but that's not ours to decide, right? I used to be so intimidated if people were popular, like if people, were like the popular people in high school or college. like, I'm like, oh, why would they ever want to join me? Like, they're not going to join me. Like, if they wanted to do something, like, they do it on their own. They're outgoing. Um, and so I would just pre-decide who I was going to invite and who I wasn't. But that's not ours to decide. Like, for example, the person who already bought a bike for me, like, her and her husband are in nursing school for their master's in nursing. Like, they're full-time grad students. Like, that's not someone I would think of would buy a bike because money is tight, right? They're in school, like all that. But again, wasn't my place to judge whether they needed it or not. Same thing with our challenge pack, same thing with all of our fitness stuff. We get so caught up in like, well, they're too busy, or like, they have this going on, or and here's one that's a little tricky, right? I think of like new moms, right? Like, obviously don't be like, I saw your baby is 6 weeks old and now you can start working out. Do you want to start working out? Like, okay. But like, for example, one of my challengers, like, the minute she had her 6-week appointment, she wanted to work out. Like, she wanted to start, working out and doing that. Okay, well, if I would have sat there and been like, well, no, she just had a baby and I don't want to be rude and all this, like, I wouldn't have talked to her about it. And a lot of times how I phrase that is like, hey, I just saw, you have, typically it's not like right at 6 weeks, it's maybe like 2 months, 3 months. I just say, a little invite about congrats, like, he or she, they're so cute. I love watching them grow up. We can't wait to have a family of our own someday. And maybe you're not ready right now, but whenever you feel ready to, if you feel like you want to get your body back or do something for yourself, let me know and I can talk to you more about our options. Like, I try to put it in their court of like, I'm not saying you need to jump on right now, but I'm here for you whenever you're ready to take that leap. And I've got really good responses from that, because I don't think they think I'm like, oh, you have baby weight to lose. But I usually talk about how, as a new mom, a lot of my friends have said it's difficult because they just feel like the only thing they're doing is taking care of their baby and not taking care of them, like doing anything for themselves. Third is personalize and be sincere. So I was queen of copy and paste messages. I'm just going to be honest, right? Like, I did not have time. So I would write up a message for the day and I would copy and paste it and just change the name. And that did, right? I mean, I had Success Club for 18 months in a row. Like, it worked, but that's because I was inviting so many people. And I think it was still like sincere, and sounded very sincere, but I have really tried to more so this month, and like this year, I should say, in 2022, is personalizing them. Including something that I see on their profile, including something we've talked about previously. And it doesn't have to get super deep, right? But it could be when I'm re-inviting. A lot of the people, Sarah and I talked about this today, probably 75% of my invites are people I've already invited before. And so I might say, hey, we talked in the past and it wasn't a good time because you were in college and it was busy. And I totally get where you were coming from, but wanted to check back in again because I have this going on. Here's why it'd be a perfect fit for you. Is it okay if I send the details over? I think it's so powerful when people like go back and just read the messages. Like, it takes me not even 30 seconds to look and see what we talked about before and include that in my message, because it helps them to know I do care enough to like look into it, or to even mention what I've been seeing on their stories, right? Oh my gosh, I've seen that you have been traveling around everywhere. And I know that would be difficult for me because, working out while you're traveling is hard. But now that I found this online platform that I can take with me, I love working out while I'm traveling. Okay. Because it shows that we care, because we do. We're all in here because we are caring individuals and we want that to be conveyed. Talk about your solution. I always try to mention something about how this is something they need, right? So it could be, a lot of times it's job one. It was all about, this is perfect for people who are busy and don't have a lot of extra time in their day to work out. Gut health is probably going to be about something like, struggling to feel good and to feel energized, and like learning how to fuel our bodies in the proper way, and like learning what food triggers us and what foods don't. Be specific. Talked about that again. I'm someone who personally, I find more success when I am inviting to something very specific. If I ask just broad questions about like, what are your goals this year? Like, typically those are easy to blow off. It's harder to check back in. Like, if I message someone, hey, like, how are your 2022 goals going? And they like we talk about them. Like, yes, I can follow up in a few months and be like, how are those going? But a lot of times people will just be like, oh yeah, my goals are going really good. And then like, we don't, like, it's hard to transition into an invite. So I always try to be specific, tell them about a specific thing I have going on, a specific opportunity. And then it makes it easier to come back in a few months and invite them again, because you have something new and different to invite to. So even people I invited in December to job 1, I'm going to be inviting to 4 weeks for everyone in 4 weeks of gut health, because it's completely different. And maybe like the working out piece wasn't what they needed back in December. And now I'm talking about gut health, which is a huge buzzword right now, guys. Like, everyone is talking about gut health. And like talking to them about that, and that might be what they need. Okay. Always end in a question, because as you would know, like, if it's not a question, people are kind of confused on what to do next. Like the whole, like, let me know if you're interested. I used to end every invite with, let me know if you're interested. Okay, well, what are you going to do if you're not interested? Like, you are just going to ghost them because like, you don't want to be like, no, I'm not interested. Like, we are Midwest people and we are Midwest nice, and we don't want to like hurt people. So we just don't say anything at all. So I always, can I send you more details? Is this something that sounds like it would be, something you'd want to learn more about? Can I send you the sample workout? What are your health and fitness goals for 2022? Like, just an open-ended question to try to get them to respond in some sort of way. And then my last inviting tip is use voice message. To be honest, I think Angie could tell you, because Angie hit SC10 this month. And I would say this is probably the first month I'm going to hit 16. I keep telling myself that I am at 14, gonna hit 16. Angie hit SC10. And I would hands down say it's because I've been voice messaging, which is so scary at first. And we're like, I don't want to ramble. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Okay, one, there is a delete button. Like, you can delete it before you send it if, I don't know, something crazy happens. But I also think it shows real life. Like, if the dogs start barking during it, if, Shane's working on the basement and I think they can hear him like drilling through the floor, like, I'll just say like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, my husband's working on the basement right now and being super loud. Sorry if you can hear that, but it's real life. Your kids screaming in the background, your dog's barking, your husband's yelling, whatever, who cares? Like, it's real. We're real people. We're not here to be perfect. And even if you like all the time stumble over my words, or guys, my invite is still somewhat scripted, right? Because there's something I'm inviting to, a way I'm saying it. But there's times I trip over my words. Like, I say something wrong, or I can't like think of the word and I'm like, right. But again, it shows we're real human beings and that we're not robots, and people want us to be relatable. Okay. Who to invite? I put here, it all started with an invite. I was a magical unicorn who showed up in my coach's inbox and was like, do you do Beachbody? It looks like you're doing Beachbody. I need to get back into it because I feel like crap. But every human being on this call is someone that was invited to this opportunity, besides Mackenzie, because Mackenzie's sister messaged me. Mackenzie, did you get a haircut? Okay, your hair looks really cute. So nice and short. Anyways, but like, Mackenzie is different because Mackenzie's sister messaged me and was like, I need you to talk to my sister. Because Mackenzie was on a different team and stuff like that, but wanted a team. So it wasn't like that weird, like, I didn't want you guys to take that as Mackenzie's sister was like, Mackenzie needs to work out. Like, that's not how it was. But so first off, my people are your buy dirt people: moms, sisters, aunts, roommates, besties, whatever. Here's something to remind yourself. My own mother, did not sign up with Beachbody. I actually bought her challenge pack as a Christmas present to her, sent it to her house. I send her Shakeology. Every time I go there, I leave her product, all of this stuff. Do you want to know how many times my mother has pressed play on a workout? 0 times. My mother like texts me every week, I'm going to start Beachbody. Make me start Beachbody. And then I like text her and I'm like, do your workout, lady. And then she like always has an excuse. Like, it's fine. Like, so my own mother, right? People are like, I don't have people who want to get healthy in my family. Like, me either. Like, not my sister doesn't do it. My mom, like, none of my immediate family. My first buy dirt people were, it was my best friend from high school. And then, yeah, that was about it. Like, really, that was it. But I kept going back to those, right? Eventually, those people will kind of hop on board. Now I have cousins doing it, and people kind of watch over time. The other people to invite is people who like and comment on your posts and watch your stories. I've said that a million times, but we still question ourselves when it comes to inviting those people. Again, yes, you can mindlessly scroll through, but if people were annoyed and didn't want to see your content, they would unfollow you. They wouldn't like it. They wouldn't see it, right? They wouldn't. Every time they watch your stories or they like your post, you go up in their Instagram algorithm. Guys, there are people I follow and I'll see a post from them and I'm like, who are you? I have never, ever seen you in my life. And it's because I've never interacted with their posts ever. So Instagram doesn't put them like in my thing, or stories when I'm like really mindlessly scrolling and I'm like tapping through every story that is ever posted by anyone I've ever followed, which is like 4,000 people. I will, yeah, get into it and I'm like, I have no clue who these people are. And it's because I see Instagram pushes my people's stories I watch every single day. Like it never fails. They are at the top. I see all their stories. But if people don't watch your stories, they're not there. So if someone's watching your story every single day, it's because they intentionally click on your photo and Instagram's like, oh, this is someone they watch. So I'm going to bump their stuff. Okay. And then anyone you think would be fun. So maybe like, for example, there are some people who aren't on social media. There aren't some people who like even go on Instagram or watch stuff, right? But people you think this would be fun to do with, right? And genuinely telling them that it would be something fun to do together. Something I used to be so scared of is my coworkers. Like I did not want to talk to my coworkers about Beachbody. It made me want to vomit. And now every time I'm like talking to my coworkers and someone mentions anything whatsoever about being healthy, I'm like, it would be so fun if we all did like a group thing together, like where we all had like our Iroquois school like accountability message and like we all pushed each other to do it. And then actually like now in the elementary, they all do Beachbody workouts together after school. And I'm like, okay, neat. Like, right. So even if they're not super big on social media, you can still reach out to them and say, hey, this is opportunity. Like, guys, how do you think people were successful before they had beach or like before we had Instagram, Facebook, and all that was such a big thing? Like they talked to human beings and they called and texted people. Like that's how that worked. Okay. And then people who say something about your new lifestyle. This was another thing that I would write when I first started losing the pounds and had a physical transformation. I'm thinking some of you too, right? You had those people that you'd see at like Christmas time and they'd be like, oh my gosh, like you look so good. Or you'd see someone at a conference that you hadn't seen for a while and they're like, oh my gosh, like you look so good. I'm so proud of you for what you've been doing. And what do? We like awkwardly brush it off and we're like, oh, thanks. Like, and we don't like talk about it. And you're like, you know, they're like, how did you do it? And you're like, oh, I use this like at-home program called Beachbody. Like, no big deal. Instead of being like, yeah, thanks. Like I worked really hard for this. And now I help people do it too. And like using that as an opportunity to talk to them a little bit about how you did it, how they can do it, all of that kind of stuff. And so don't forget about the people in your real life and the real human beings around you. So now I want to talk a little bit about fears, because fear is the number one thing that holds us back from inviting. And I think the first fear that everyone always says is like, I don't want to sound salesy. I don't want people to think I just want them to buy my products, which it depends on how you invite, right? If I were to message Jess and I were to say, hey, Jess, I am one total solution pack away from hitting my goal. And we have all had people that do this. This drives me nuts. When I see it on Facebook and or Instagram, I want to like unfollow and like go far away from these human beings. But right, hey, Jess, I am one total solution pack away from my goal for the month. Like, could I send you some details about my program and see if it's something you want to buy? Okay, right there, that sounds really salesy. Okay. One thing that personally I have done in my own personal business to feel less salesy is changing my verbiage, right? I don't call people, I don't say I sold a challenge pack. I say I signed up a new client, right? Like there are things that just mentally I had to make the switch for myself to disassociate it with a sale and a transaction, right? Or like, I don't say like, when you buy my product, you get this. I say, when you sign up with this package, this is what you unlock, or like, this is what you get. Those mental shifts, honestly, for me, Another example is I don't call people my customer. I call them my challenger, right? Every person is my challenger, not my customer. That is personal things to me that I feel like makes me feel good about what I'm doing and also sounds better, to be honest. Like when someone says my customer versus like my challenger, my client, something like that. But as long as I really believe, like, as long as you're not like cold messaging every human being on the planet and saying like, hi, Jess, I have this new program coming out. Do you want to buy it? Okay. But when you take the actions we talked about earlier, you're not going to sound salesy. And reminding yourself is we all got here by inviting. Like we all got here because someone invited you. And a lot of us, and if you said like, okay, well, what Brianna, like if Emily's saying like, okay, what Brianna said to me was salesy and I didn't really like what she said, like think of how you would respond if you got that message. I've got messages from people that are in social selling and I was like, wow, this is phenomenal. Like I want to use that verbiage. Like it sounds good. It sounds amazing. And I've also got messages from random people out of the blue. I've never even like, they don't even follow me on Instagram. And they're like, I'm a rep for this new activewear line. And you post a lot and would be great. I think you should join my team. Do you want to join my team? And I'm like, what? Right. So if it sounds good to you, if you would respond to the message, then it's probably not salesy because we are all hyper aware of that. Second fear is that they'll say no. This is what my mother always told me. And this is what I take into the business is the answer is always no if you never ask. So why are you afraid of the no? Because if you are too scared to ask someone, right there, you got to know. So you might as well ask them. And what's the worst thing they say? If they say no, they're not interested. Okay, then you can have a conversation about that, or you can ask if there's a better time, or what's holding them back, or something like that. But the answer is always no if you never ask. So you might as well ask. And that's gotten me very far in life, even outside of coaching. Like that's why I am a teacher at Iroquois, because I had no job and needed a job. And so I contacted the superintendent and was like, what's the chances you want an ag program? And again, I was really scared, but I said, the worst thing he's going to say is no. And I'm in the same spot I was. So might as well ask. And then I think another fear is we honestly are scared because we don't know what to say, or we don't know what to say if they do say, yeah, I'd like some details. So in our Google Drive, and I can send the link, or I'll post the link in the comments of the team call page on Facebook. There are example conversations in there. If you don't know what to say, screenshot it, send me a message, and I could tell you kind of how I would handle it. But there's a lot of things out there that kind of walk you through what an example conversation might sound like. One thing too is that if you are stuck, or if you're a newer coach, what I'm encouraging you to do is take this person who said, yeah, I want more details, take me, put all three of us, me, you, and them, in a group chat. And we will walk through those first few conversations together, so you can kind of see how would I go through a conversation. And so essentially you're bringing your person to me. I'm walking them through everything I would in a normal conversation. And then you're signing them up and kind of seeing and learning in that process. Okay. And everything comes down to just send it. And I laugh. I picture the guy on the snowmobile, like the meme, like just send it. But that's so true. Angie and I have a rule that if I hover someone and I think of inviting them, I have to invite them. Like, guys, I did this just the other day. I opened their message, like I opened their profile and clicked send message. I like typed up the message. I deleted it because I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't invite them. Like second guessing it. My rule is if I think about inviting them, I invite them, because my thing is if I thought about inviting them, that is God placing it on my heart to invite them. And I like a lot of times, like obviously I haven't spontaneously combusted yet. Like nothing has, like I have not died. So, and I laugh at my kids. I tell them this all the time. Like, but did you die? Like we read to the elementary this week. And my high schoolers were so dramatic. I hate children. I can't read myself. How am I supposed? I'm like, this is like a kindergarten level book. Like you can read a kindergarten level book. So as they would hand me their book and walk to go back up to the classroom, I'm like, oh my God, I am so glad you're still alive. Like I was a little worried you were going to just like combust in there. Didn't know how that would go. And I think that's what we fear. Like we fear something major is going to happen to us. But at the end of the day, like the worst thing they can do is be kind of rude. Like I've had like 2 people who have been rude to me about things in my entirety. And I can guarantee you I've invited over 1,000 people, I bet. And so very minute, but you have to get the no's in order to get to the yeses. Okay. Any questions? The other thing, I know some people asked if I would kind of share like what my invite looks like. I downloaded them. Or downloaded a picture that was really good. And the biggest thing is to like write in your own words. Like I can tell you my invites all day long, but it might not be something you would say. So like for example is the other thing I guess I didn't put about inviting is a lot of the important part is in the follow-up. So making sure you're tracking who you talk to, which guys, it took me like 2 years to figure out a system that actually worked for tracking people. So if you're not doing it, like I encourage you to find a system, but also don't like beat yourself up if you're not, because it took me a while to find something that worked. I just use a simple Google Docs or Google Sheets. But like mine are very basic right now of like, hey, so-and-so, I cannot believe that we are starting the 3rd month of the year. Like what is happening? Like how is 2022 going so fast? Just wanted to see how your health and fitness is going since we're almost a 4th of the way done with the year. We have some new programs coming out that I'm pretty excited for. And I was just wondering if you were looking to improve your health and fitness at all. I hope I can send you some more details and see if it'd be a fit for you. And even if this isn't something you want to do, let me know. That's 100% okay. I can't wait to chat soon. Like that's my exact invite. And a lot of times, right? Like I just go, like I don't, I encourage you, if you're worried about voice messaging, like write out a script for you, right? Some boundaries, stuff like that. So you feel like you're rambling a little less. But me, right? Like I could do it all the time. So if you want, when I do a gut health sample workout tomorrow, like my gut health sample workout will probably, and right, 4 weeks for everybody, I will probably say, hey, so-and-so, I am so freaking excited, right? And like half of you, 3/4 of you would not say freaking, right? Like I cannot picture Angie like messaging someone and being like, I am so freaking excited, because like that's not her verbiage, right? So don't use mine if it's not what you'd say. I could picture Angie being like, yo, maybe that's just because she texts me yo all the time, but I could literally see her starting a message with like, yo, like blah, 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 blah. So I would say like, hey, I am so freaking excited. In March, we have a new program coming out called 4 Weeks for Everybody. It is all about helping everyone find what works for them. It's about everyone finding a food system and foods that work for them. And I have a sample workout so you can try it, see if it's a fit for you. Is it okay if I send that your way? Probably what I'd say, right? So kind of how I format it is my opening line, I say what I'm inviting to, a sentence about like why they should care about it, and then a question, if that makes sense. So just kind of 4 sentences. I try to not get too long because I know like me, like I'm someone, I would rather have it clear cut. Like I don't need a whole like long message about how this is the greatest thing you've ever seen and it's like a great price and like all that. Like I just want to know the details. So yes, any questions? And maybe what I'll do is tomorrow, since we talked about, I know some people maybe thought it would be helpful to like see other people's invites and see what it looks like. Is that maybe I'll post something tomorrow and say, you know, like drop the invite you're using right now. The only thing that always worries me about that, like, so it just happens a lot. Angie and I invite a lot of the same human beings. It's just right. Like we have very overlapping lives and very overlapping people we follow. And so like my biggest fear is if, I don't know, Sarah posts her invite and then Amanda uses that invite and we send people like very similar invites. I always get nervous, like, or Peyton and I, because Peyton and I went to college together. So like we invite the same friend from college and we were both ag majors. Same thing with Jess and I. I am always terrified someone's going to like get the exact same message. And so that's why I always say personalize it to you. Make sure you use your own words, because I don't want someone being like, I just got that same message from Jess, and then being like, eh. But any questions? I had something for next week. I had a plan and now I forgot it. Does anyone remember? I said it somewhere what our plan for next week was, and then I forgot it. Hopefully I wrote it down. But I don't remember. Hopefully it'll come to me what our topic is for next week. I will also have, hopefully this month, one of my 1-Star Diamond friends coming on and hosting a team call for us about things they do. And I can't 100% blanking on what I was going to talk about next week, but that's okay. So, okay. I need to take a picture first, unless someone took one and tagged me. Let's see. Sarah tagged me. Okay, but let's take a boomerang. Oh, turn my flash off. You can do whatever you want. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling. Okay, are we ready? 3, 2, 1. You guys are so cute. Okay, I hope everyone, that's on the recording. So